Hey guys, 318 will run here. I'm just going to make a couple of points here. I got a scale here set on grams. You hear so much about the rotators and how they take away the weight. 39 grams for one of those. The other ones are the normal ones that I put on there, 26, and people talk about how you can add RPMs by not changing anything else on the motor, but you can add RPMs by getting rid of so many grams. Well, I'm for big valves and big ports for better flow, but I'm going to claim any advantage I might have right now, and that is the 360 valve weighs 129 grams. The 318 intake valve weighs 118, so I'm 11 grams lighter per valve on the intake side. Exhaust 128 and 105. And granted, this is, I think, a truck off of these 360 heads here off a truck, so they got a little bit more beef to the valve, so maybe it wouldn't be quite that much of a difference. But as you can see, there's a solid 10 or 11 grams per valve. So that's going to help us rev a little bit more with our better flowing heads. Means we ported them. Okay. Now we're going to go to the you just hold this just like that, you'll be fine. Go ahead, you got it. Yeah, and just kind of hold this with your fingers like that out of the way. There you go. Okay, and now for lapping the valves, it's pretty easy. What I do first is I squirt just a little bit of WD or carbon choke cleaner down the valve guide. I do that, and then I run through this through the valve guide. It's just a piece of paper towel. I push it through with something that won't score the valve guide. And then I take the valve, and I'm not going to do everything here for you. I'm just going to give you a point in the right direction. You put just a hair of oil on it, and then you put it in there, and I make sure it's. I rotate it, make sure I got oil throughout all the valve guide. And now another thing is to check the valve guide slack. I open it up about ½ inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch, and I wiggle this back and forth just a little bit. I don't know if you can see this or not. This is very, very tight. And this is let's see here. There you go. I really can't get anything out of this one. It's almost tight. Can you hold that? It's right there. There we go. So I really don't get any slack. I noticed on another one I had a couple of thousand slack, maybe 20,000 slack going back and forth. But these valve guides seem to be really good, and your exhausts are always your worst, and same to be true on this head. Okay, then all I do is I take this stuff here, valve grinding compound, can be gotten at almost any place. I buy it at like a Farm and Fleet. It's only $5 to get you change back over. And I mix it up in a little cap off of an oil container or whatever. And then I put about that, I just put some in there, and I usually like to take my finger, stick it in water, and let about 1 or 2 drips come off. And I mix it up with a screwdriver. And then you don't want it on your valve stem. You don't want to grind on that. What you do is you put a little bit around the seat, like that, all the way around. You don't want it to where it splatters everywhere, so I try to keep it on the thick side. And then what I do is you put it inside there. Okay, now there's 2 ways that people do this. Well, 3 actually. Some people take one of those little hand grinder things and they go back and forth, back and forth. They rub the piece of wood like they're starting a fire. There's another way you can do it. Back up just a little bit and show this whole thing here. Yeah, go ahead and come right back up here. You'll be all right. Let me see this. There you go. There's the handle. And basically what happens here is you just turn this like that. And what it does is it goes 2 steps forward. It rotates 2 steps, and then it goes back 1. 2 steps, 1. 2 steps, 1. And that's how that works. You'll hear it cutting, and when you hear it quit cutting, you lift up on the valve, keep rotating, and come down. I'm going to show you guys another way, which is much faster. Come to the back side of the head here with the camera. Let me see here. Just kind of hold it right about there. Well, here, let me show them the drill. I got a drill, a bit, and a hose. No specific size of anything, just so that the holes go snugly over the valve stem. Now watch this. Now I didn't invent this. This has been around for years. You just work that over that valve stem like that, good and snug, and then you'll hear it cutting. Hear it cutting. Go in and out like that. And then go backwards. Don't whip it real fast. You're not trying to splatter it or make it fly around. You just keep going back and forth like that, and then go the other way. Okay, get the idea of it. Okay, I'm gonna unhook this so I can talk some more. And that's kind of how I like to do it. Okay, and now I'm gonna come around here, and what you're gonna do is take the valve out like that, and then again, we're not gonna put anything on the valve stem. We don't want to grind that. But what you're going to end up with is you're going to see where I've been, hard to see, but you can see where I was working on the face and the seat. I'll wipe that seat out. Okay. You shine in right, come around this way and shine in inside that seat there. This one right here. There you go. Yeah, like that. Here, I'll lay the head down. Maybe you can see more. Okay. I'm going to try to get this right on top of that seat. Yeah, you can see where I was working right there. So, anyways, last thing I'm going to talk about is ways to check it to make sure that it's seated. Some people wonder, and I even had the question, how does a new person know when their valve guide is shot? Well, if you pull it out and you get excessive slop going back and forth, you know, it probably needs new ones. Will the engine run? Yes. You just won't get quite the performance out of it that way. You know, but if you can look and see here, this one here is fairly tight. And that's how I like them. So, yeah. See, that was cleaning up pretty good. Now I'm going to show you how I check them. Okay? Real simple. There's two ways I like to do it. Put the valve in. Of course, I clean it up with alcohol when I'm done. I like to clean that real clean with alcohol. No grinding at all. Valve grinding compound left over. Okay, and then with that totally sealed, I take a handy dandy flashlight. So if you don't have a valve grinding, if you don't have a valve lapper or something like that, your drill will work just fine, maybe even better. A drill and a holes and a bit. Everyone has that, right? Okay, I like to take a flashlight. I'm going to kill the lights here for a second.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's zooming here.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know why it did that. There we go. I'm pulling it back in. Okay, this button here did that. Alright. Not video pros here, but we're going to get the job done. Alright. Right here's the valve we're focused on. Yeah, that button there did that. Okay, got the flashlight on. I'm going to kill the lights here real quick. And I'm going to show you something. Okay. What I'm going to do is take this flashlight in the dark. I'm going to shine it through the back side of this port. Can you show them back here? There you go. See that exhaust port right there? I'm going to shove the inside there. And now you're going to look here and see that when I open that valve, you can see light. Yeah. Okay, if I shut that, you can't see anything, right? No light is coming through. If I barely open it, you can start to see a little sliver. Sometimes before you start grinding, you'll have a little half moon like that. That's where you were leaking, or even less like that. That's where you're leaking. But this one here, you can see I haven't even fully cleaned it up yet, and there's no light shining through. Okay, that's one way of doing it, and it works really well. Again, using a simple flashlight. Another way to do it is a cheap bottle of alcohol, rubbing alcohol. You can get a bottle of that for 79 cents or whatever. And what you do is lay the head flat. Everyone knows this trick. You lay the head completely flat with both valves and a spark plug in. You fill it all the way up with rubbing alcohol, and you let it sit for a few minutes and see if it goes down, and then you can find which valve port it's coming out of, whether it be the intake or the exhaust. Okay, so that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today, was how I lap the valves, what kind of tolerances I have. Again, you can see here, a little bit of slack in that one, just barely. This one here, virtually none. So this got really good valve, exhaust valve guides in it, and intake valve guides, so I don't have to worry about any of that. I just got to give them the seal really good with a good old alcohol, rubbing alcohol test, a light test. Get them to seal really good. Another thing I was going to tell you at the end here, sorry for the poor camera work here, is if you get a real sharp ledge here on the edge, sometimes they're almost beyond, making it workable. But if you can get them to seal, they'll still work. If you're on a real tight budget, they'll still work. Ideally, you can get usually your exhaust out of the work. You can get a good set of exhaust valve, sealed power through Summit for around $56 or $57, so it's not earth-shattering. I'm trying to stay under $499. I haven't really taken these down to see what shape they're going to be in yet, the exhaust valves, but there's a chance I may need them, and there's a chance I may not, so I'll know more about that in the end. But I just want to emphasize on the weight. The springs I'm using, Edelbrock springs, they got the same seat pressure as a 340 spring, brand new, and they got a hair more of a compressed spring pressure, 240 versus 230. It should help, with the lightweight valves, opened up ports. It's going to breathe really well. It's going to rev really quick. It should be a fun little thing, depending on what cam I decide to go with. We'll go there next. I pretty much already decided on a cam per my budget. It's not the one I'd pick if I wasn't on a budget. But anyways, guys, until then, that's how we do some lapping. See ya.